3. Evaluate 26 plus 40 divided by 2 cubed times 3 squared. So again, order of operations, I didn't write it down yet, but let me just do that real quick. We have parentheses first. And there is no parentheses in this one, so if something doesn't happen, we skip it. Second thing we deal with is exponents. We want to evaluate all exponents as much as possible. The next thing is to multiply or divide from left to right. Or I should say multiply and divide. Left to right. As you see it, you do it. And then finally you add and subtract left to right. This is called a mathematical standard here. So this is what mathematicians developed back a long, long time ago to ensure that every single problem that every single person ever saw would get the exact same answer, so there's no confusion when people write things down mathematically. That's why we have this order. All right, and again, if something happens, we do it. If something doesn't happen, we skip it. So in this sense, here there are no parentheses, so we skip the parentheses phase and go to exponents. There are exponents, right? So exponents is number 2. This didn't happen, so we're not worrying about it. Exponent happens here and here. All right, so I want to evaluate the exponent. So I'm going to rewrite the problem. I'm going to change the exponents to what they actually equal. So I've got 26 plus 40 divided by, and then 2 cubed means 2 times 2, which is 4, times 2, which is 8. Be careful, it's not 2 times 3 is 6, it's 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. And then it's times 3 squared. 3 squared means 3 times 3, which equals 9. So again, order of operations is very important that we go in the right order, and also exponents is important we evaluate the exponents correctly. Okay? As before, if you don't know what something equals, they use some exponent that's rather large, use a calculator to evaluate, that's fine. But again, I want to see where you applied the exponent step of the order of operations in your work. I want you to be applying the order of operations. Use the calculator as the tool to help you with larger calculations. Then we're going to multiply and divide from left to right. As we see it, we do it. Okay, so it's very important. I'm not going to do 8 times 9, divide that by 40. I'm going to do 40 divided by 8, which equals 5. And then 5 times 9 equals 45. From left to right as you see it. So 40 divided by 8 is 5. 5 times 9 is 45. That's the overall quotient and product of that. Nothing's happening at this point to the 26. Your quotient or product will be positive or negative. In this case, everything's positive, so it's positive, so I put plus 45. I don't want to change the structure of my problem. This is 26 plus all this stuff. It's 26 plus the answer to all that stuff. If there were any minuses over here, it could have ended up being minus 45 instead of plus 45. All right? And once you've done the multiply and divide from left to right, all that's left is addition and subtraction. You perform that from left to right. There's only 2 numbers in this case. The numbers have the same sign, so I add. 45 is bigger, so it's positive. Okay? If at any point along the way, again, the calculation was challenging for you, maybe 40 divided by 8 times 9 in your head is a little bit more challenging than it is for me, then if you type in your calculator, 40 divided by 8 times 9 equals, it'll spit out 45 for you. All right? Just make sure you're calculating that part only to get a new calculation, new part of the problem. Don't just type the whole thing in at equals and get the answer. I don't want to see this is the problem, this is your answer, no work shown. So demonstrate on your paper where you're going through the order of operations. Use your calculator as a tool to calculate things that are challenging for you to calculate. I want to see the order of operations in action on your paper.